For the past 4 years, I've been traveling the world, and on my journey across these continents, I've met countless fascinating individuals who all have different perspectives on life.
I knew from the moment I met those women that I had to tell their stories.
From Olympic athletes who performed at the highest level to artists who create unbelievable work and refugees who have overcome the most difficult of challenges. Each and every single one of them has their own formula for life, and I'm here to find out what that is.
What they wanted, whether they knew it or not, is they wanted to be inspired.
My name is Trevor Carlson, and this is the Formula Podcast. Today on the Formula Podcast, I have Stan Puzdriak. Hopefully I didn't butcher your name too bad. The founder of Rebel Monkey. And then also you just finished up a Kickstarter for a film called Memory Card, which I was very happy to back. I guess my first question is, how did you get into filmmaking?
First of all, thank you for supporting our project. It means a lot for us because it's very difficult to find people, and each person who supports us, it gives me a really good mood to inspires me to do more things. I got into filmmaking. I think first project that I made, it was a documentary when I was 21. My girlfriend, she's now my wife, she moved to the United States, and I stayed in Ukraine, and I decided to make a movie about immigrants, why people move outside the country, why do they go to the other places. That's the first movie I made. But before that, I was doing videos, different kind of videography and commercial stuff. Like I enjoyed making videos all my life since I remember myself, since like 13, 12 years old.
Yeah,
I was playing with Movie Maker and all stuff.
Yeah. So I saw you. Is that the film that's on Amazon Prime that you made?
No, it's a new one. The other one was just about Ukrainian immigration. The new one is about immigrants in general. It's about immigrants in the United States. Why do they come here? It's more about American dream.
Yeah. What's the like TLDR of that film? Like why?
I don't know what is TLDR.
It means too long didn't read. It means like what's the short version of like the plot and what's the movie about?
Oh, it's about why people come here. You mean tell us American dream? Yeah, it's about why people move to the United States. Why do they come here? And is American dream still a thing? Is it still possible to come here and become successful?
Yeah. So is it, or do I have to watch the movie to find out?
I think it's possible. It will be always possible. I think it's just different. It's much more difficult. Probably, maybe not. It's easier from one point, because for me, when I moved here, I already, like second day I was here, I was already making videos because there is the internet, so I was able to find a job on my way here. Like before that, in 90s, 80s, I don't think I would have same career path here. If I moved here before 10 or 20 years ago, I would like wash dishes or something like that. So yeah, I think it's achievable. Might be even easier now, because from what I see, a lot of people are moving here from Ukraine now, and they get nice apartment, nice jobs really, really fast, from what I see.
Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of opportunity just with like people having access to be able to apply for jobs, show off their skill set, pitch other things. Whereas like pre-internet days, it was like you basically had nothing. You just kind of, unless you already had like a network or friends or family here, you're pretty much just kind of showing up and having to grind it out.
Yeah, I 100% agree. It's still a mystery for me how food delivery worked before without Google Maps. Yeah, there was some problem with connection. You still here?
Yeah, still here. It just froze for a sec. Where did you get cut off at?
Yeah, I just said it's still a mystery for me how food delivery worked before. How people were able to find specific house, because like United States are so big, and it's a mystery for me how you can find specific place without Google Maps.
Yeah, well, I think, if you look at, there's been a lot of, I feel like that almost speaks like how hard immigrants work. If you look at like, there's so many stories of like successful immigrant business owners and things like that, even from like the 80s and 90s, before Google Maps and social media and all that was a thing, or before Google was even a thing. So it's like I guess once you arrive, you just kind of have to. You just had to work your ass off.
Yeah, one of my friends, he explained me why are there so many immigrants that are successful. It's not about that they're from other countries. It's not like you can take any person from other country and they come here and they become successful. It's more about of the type of immigrant mind. It's the type of people that already wanted to change something in their life. They spend a lot of time moving to somewhere else and they come here for a specific reason. So yeah, most of them are hard workers, like people that come here to achieve something. That's the reason they didn't like something where they lived, so they decided to come here.
Yeah, it totally makes sense. It's like you can't just take a random person off of the street off from a different country and then they'll just get here and do great. It's like it's like the mindset.
Bad idea.
Yeah, probably.
Or take random people.
Yeah, maybe that's a good idea for a movie.
But it's still confusing for me how green card works. You know, green card lottery.
Yeah, I don't know that much about it because I was born in the U.S. But yeah, how does it work?
It's like lottery. Once a year, you apply for American green card and you can win it. I know many people that want it. Just you can win it. You just apply for it. It's like a lottery, a literal lottery, and it's very mysterious for me because I don't understand what's the reason to do it for United States and how do they decide who is the winner? Is it random thing or they like review everything?
I don't know. That sounds like a strange way to pick out who gets to stay.
Yeah,
it's just like throw your name in a hat.
But that's a real thing. There are many people that already in the United States apply for green card lottery because they're legally here, so they apply and hope to win it.
Wow. I bet most people in the U.S. don't even know about that because I've heard of a green card, but never the lottery. So that's a wild way to do things. So that was you've worked on a couple of films that are in regards to immigration, and so Memory Card is different than that. So where did that idea come from?
I mean, there was a fun project we worked. It's cyberpunk project I worked with my friend a few years ago in Ukraine, and then I moved to the United States and started to build my career here. And a year ago, he moved here too, so we decided to work on another project together. And I told him I always wanted to make something related to PlayStation 1 era, to our gaming era, because it was about our childhood when we were kids and we were spending a lot of time there, and there was some magic about it. So he was very excited about it, and he came to me with an idea about championship. Two guys looking for coordinates, and I told him, yeah, let's make it.
Yeah. And then it just came to life like that?
Not that easy. It took us almost a year. It requires a lot of time and effort to make a high quality project. You can make something really quick, of course, always, but our goal was to make something really cool. And it took us a lot of time to prepare, to learn, because we haven't done anything like that before. We didn't have experience hiring actors in the United States. We didn't know how does it work. We didn't know how to book locations, or how to work as a big team of 12, 15 people. We never worked like that because most of the projects we did, it was they were solo projects. Yeah. So it was interesting experience, and we can wait to start a new project. By the way, we have a meeting on Thursday, this week, about our new project. We have a few ideas we want to make. Very cool. We want to focus on movies. We want to make at least one project a year, but hopefully more. Depends on their scale.
That's doing like feature film style or like fictional films.
Next project we want to make is a TV show, but we are not going to make the whole season or something. We will just film one of the scenes, like 7-8 minutes long. We'll make a script for first pilot episode, and we'll try to find investors or streaming platforms interested to make this project happen. Because otherwise, it's very difficult to make a feature project with your money or even with investor money if you do not involve any other big companies like Netflix, Amazon Prime, any of them, because It requires a lot of money to make it, but also a lot of time, effort, and after you make this movie, you need to convince people to watch this movie, to go to the cinema, or either they need to watch it on a streaming platform. So I think it's better to have some deal with the streaming platform before you make a movie, or then after, because I know people that made their movie first, and then most of the streaming platforms told them no, we're not interested in your project, and they spent like hundreds of $1,000s. They're now in credits, and
That's crazy.
that's not the thing I want to do. Definitely, I don't want to invest such a big amount, and it's very difficult to make a project that will cost less than $1 million, a feature project. Even with our project, it's right now it's 25 minutes long, and we have $15,000 budget, which is very low, I would say, and half of our crew worked for free, and we had very affordable visual effects. We were able to find some free locations, and still we spent $15,000 on a short movie.
It's crazy. You definitely, in order to, you kind of have to pay to play. Like, it's very difficult just to like kickstart something from scratch without much of a budget.
Yeah, true. Yeah. So yeah, I don't want to play with low budget because it's very difficult to make something low budget. It requires a lot of stress, and you need to ask a lot of people to work for free, and I hate to do that. I hate ask people to do something for free. It's much people are more can provide much more effort and time when they are getting paid because they can focus 100% of their time on the project.
Yeah, for sure. So let's take a couple steps back. So you're submitting memory card to film festivals. You're already kicking off your next project. So if you go back to like coming up with like the ideas for some of these films, what does your process look like when you just have kind of a blank slate to when you have like a script or like a well-rounded idea for a film? What does that process look like?
We need to have a concept like synopsis. What is this movie about? And it's very important to be able to explain in 2 or 3 sentences what is movie about. If it's longer, it means that this project is complicated, and it will be difficult to explain to a person why they should. It will be difficult to promote it. It's much easier when you can explain it in 2 or 3 sentences, like Terminator. There is a robot coming back from the future to kill a person. Something like
Yeah.
that. It's much better when you can. There is easy way to explain it. So when we have synopsis, we start, like for example with memory card, we started working on a script. After we had a script, like even meanwhile we were working on a script, we already started looking for actors and locations and preparing for everything at the same time. And the most difficult part, I would say, is to find dates where everyone is available, like gaffer, cameraman, director, all the actors at the same time. And you need to pray that weather will be good, because otherwise you will need to reschedule, and it will mean for you that you'll spend another few $1,000s that you don't have now, or you have, but like you don't want to spend them here. I think it's a better way to invest them somewhere else. But we were very lucky. Yeah, everything was as we wanted.
Yeah. So you've produced a few films, and now you're working on the show. What do you think is the difference between, like, you've probably worked on projects for lots of other people as well as part of the team, and you've probably had some do very well. I think I've seen some of the videos on your Instagram that you've shot or projects you've worked on. What do you think the difference is between projects or films you work on that do exceptionally well and the ones that don't?
Sorry, you disappeared again. I didn't hear your question.
Sorry about that.
What was the difference between?
Yeah, so you've worked on a lot of different projects and shows, not just your own, but for other people as well. What do you think the biggest difference is what do you think the biggest difference between the ones that do very well and the ones that don't? Like, what are the differences between them, do you think?
That's a good question, really good question. Like, I can compare my own projects that didn't do well, and now my record is doing well. My old projects that didn't do well was main problems that I didn't have enough experience to promote them. I didn't know what is the best to do with the movie after you make it. because I was submitting them to the festivals, I was putting them on social media, but I did it wrong. There was a better way to submit it to different festivals, to invest more money in promotion, which is very important because previously we didn't invest enough money in promoting projects. All money went to making project, but you need to have similar budget to promote a movie as a movie budget, because promotion is even more important.
Yeah. What was the difference between like how you promoted previously and how you're promoting now?
Yeah, from the beginning, we already had a deal with at least 30 different gaming influencers who shared our trailer on the first day. We put a lot of money on Google ads, YouTube ads, Instagram, Facebook ads. We made a lot of different kind of content to promote movie, like short videos, trailers, stills. We already started applying to film festivals before the movie was ready with the draft. So we were doing a lot of different things at the same time. But the only reason I could do that, know how to do that, it was because I made many projects before. So like with this one, I already know what I need to do.
What do you think you learned from the memory card launch that you'll do differently on the next project?
I would do everything the same way. I will just can be more strict next time, I think, because this time I wasn't very strict because I wasn't sure where I can yell. I don't want to say yell, but yeah, like to be more concrete or like explain things, because we had some issues on the set, and I was very very careful with what I'm saying and what I'm doing, like every time. So next time I would say I already know how to deal with different complicated situations.
Yeah, so you wouldn't necessarily do anything different with the launch specifically, but now that you have more experience, you'd kind of be a bit strict on
I would say experience with dealing with complicated situations, because we had a complicated situations when one of the actors decided to leave the project a few days before the shoot. He actually wasn't leaving. He double booked a different project, and it was a stressful situation for me because I wasn't sure what should I do here. Should I fire him and find someone else? Should we reschedule dates? Rescheduling dates would mean for us spending a lot of extra money, and the project will be delayed. It may can be delayed for weeks or even for months because there are many people got involved. So yeah, we decided to fire him and find another actor, and it was much easier than I thought. And I'm really happy about that it happened, because our actor that we hired after was much better. We were happy with him, and he looks incredible in the shot. I don't want to tell who is the person, just in case. Like here, I'm not sure if I can share that. Right. That's one thing about being careful. Yeah. Next time, if something like that happens, I would fire a person right away. Like I'll find someone else. And I recently discovered that many directors do that, and there are many successful projects that, like even today, I realized that movie Project 7 by David Fincher, they changed their the guy who played serial killer a few days before shooting.
Really?
Yeah, Kevin Spacey. He was hired a few days before because they didn't like the previous person. There is also a story where Ryan Gosling was fired from, I think the project is called Lonely Bones or something like that. Peter Jackson, it's also a thriller movie. So it happens very often. It's much easier to find a different person than reschedule everything. Yeah. There are many, many talented people in New York, what I realized.
Yeah. Okay, so you said before that the first thing you need to do if you're working on a new project is come up with a synopsis.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have... Yep.
We need to have synopsis, then we have script.
Okay.
Then we find actors.
Do you write this? Oh, sorry,
no.
go ahead.
Sorry, I just realized what I'm gonna do next time. I will find famous people for the project. That's what we are working now. It's very important. Unfortunately, you need to have a famous, maybe fortunately or unfortunately, this is how it works. You need to have at least one famous person put on a poster, because it makes it more recognizable, and it's much easier to convince people to invest in it, watch it when they see something familiar for them. Like with memory card, like PlayStation is what is familiar for people. That's the reason why they want to watch it, because they played those games. But we don't really need famous actors here. But when you're making something about just general topic, you need a famous actor. But it's not like John Travolta or Brad Pitt or someone. We are planning to find someone who was famous years ago. He's still recognizable, but he's ready to work on a low rate. That's what many like B movies do.
Yeah, they kind of find somebody who is maybe their prime was a few years ago, and they're not really the ones that you're seeing on all the new blockbuster films. So and by doing that, I'm just gonna kind of guess it's like even though it might cost more to bring in someone like that, you're not just investing in them as an actor, you're investing in their brand, I guess, or their recognition.
I would say both. There are some guys, some actors that I really love that I would like to work with them. Like, for example, Bruce Campbell from Evil Dead.
Yeah, he's great.
He's great. He's very recognizable. He's like, I can't wait to see him in real life. I really want to do that because I'm a huge fan of Evil Dead franchise. Or Ted Raimi, Sam Raimi brother, he also was in Evil Dead. He was recently in a cool game called Quarry. Like this type of people. I wouldn't hire someone just because he's famous. Like we wanted to find someone who will fit the project, who will look cool there, and also is recognizable. But it's not like I want to put like just famous people or something there. Just one or two people will be enough. I think it's still possible to make very successful project without famous people, but it's more difficult.
Yeah, you also get access to their audience on social media and stuff like that too, where if you hire Ryan Reynolds to be the main face of the movie, he's going to be pushing that out like crazy. So you're not just getting the actor, you're getting everybody who knows who he is or she is, and everyone who follows them.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds is a good choice, but I don't think it's possible for me now. Maybe in 10, 15 years, 20, 30 years.
No. I'm sure with like the trajectory you're on right now, and like as the projects keep getting bigger, I'm sure you'll hit like a point pretty soon where that's possible.
Yeah, if Ryan Reynolds will be out of his prime like years later. Hey, well, I mean, we have some cool projects for you.
Yeah. Okay, so one thing I was going to ask before is you mentioned the script is next up, the synopsis. Do you write the script yourself usually?
Yeah, I did that before. I don't do it anymore. I was never happy with my dialogues. When I saw them on a paper, my dialogues, when I wrote them, they looked good. But when I heard people saying that, they sounded really cheesy. As that was a huge problem. I can work on a script on a structure. What is going to happen here? What scene going to happen here? But I will provide a script to a different person to write it. Right now we are working with Connor James. He is very talented. He wrote a memory card, and we are very happy with the result. And we keep working with him. He's not famous. He's actually an engineer, IT guy. He works in IT. With electric vehicles, and it was his fun thing hobby to make a script, but he wants to do it a full-time thing in the future.
Nice. Yeah, well, I'm excited to see how it turned out, because it's almost like people with that have different types of experience outside of just writing, they end up being quite good at writing because they're pulling from real world experience versus just like coming up with something off the top of their head. So
it's also cool when you have a separate person for separate things. There's someone working on a script, someone is editing, someone is directing, someone is hiring people. The more people is better. So far we realized, because for example, when we have a different person writing a script, when I'm reading it, I have a fresh mind. Like when you write a script by yourself, it's very hard to judge it, to understand if it's good or not. Of course, there are many talented directors that write scripts, and like Quentin Tarantino or Christopher Nolan, but I'm not the one.
What is your lane? Like, where do you thrive?
What do you mean?
Like, what's your specialty? Like, if you had to say.
I would say I'm a pretty good producer. I'm good with finding right people to do their job and control the process. So I'm more of a producer now. I always wanted to be director, and I'm still director. But when we work with Taras is our director and the guy who came recently, and so we decided to work on memory card together. He's more director and I'm more a producer. He's more creative person. I'm more about finances and about people. He's more about final result.
Yeah. As the producer, do you still have a say in the final result, or is it?
Oh yeah,
mostly on
all
that?
the time. I'm not only a producer. I'm a director as well, and I'm directing
Mhm.
actors on the set and doing everything. I mean, just like I'm 30% director, 70% producer. He's 100% director. So yeah, we discuss everything. We discuss like literally everything. We have color, editing, music choices.
Yeah.
So I would say we work together, like 50-50.
Yeah, there's
Well-
a scene from there's a movie that's actually about, I think it's Alfred Hitchcock when he's making the movie Psycho. I think it's like the making of Psycho, but it's like a feature film. And part of the movie is just him with his co-producer or whoever, just like sitting in the room, like chopping up film. Or maybe it's his director. I don't know who it is, but I just thought that was pretty fascinating. Like, it just shows him in there just like grinding out, like making this film, like aggressively cutting things. And I imagine that's probably like what you and your director are doing, is just kind of like hammering these things out over hours and hours of work sessions. What do you think the key is to finding good people to work with, like a good director to partner with?
I think you need to be lucky. And I don't think there is any key, because with Taras we know each other for many years. We work together. I actually filmed his wedding many years ago. I was a wedding videographer, and he got married. That's how we started working. Because when I was filming his wedding, I realized he's a cool, nice person, and I offered him a job as a video editor at my company. So that's how we started. But for so many years, we are good friends, and we understand each other. We are very different people. We are very different, but it's like I think we are a very good team together. But it's a complicated process to find right people. Like with our scriptwriter, it was a funny story how we found him, because he met our director of photography accidentally, because our director of photography went biking and he broke his leg. And our scriptwriter was not far from him, and he helped him to call emergency.
Crazy.
So yeah, that's a crazy story. We still have a photo of Connor holding leg of our director of photography, Andy. It's broken and it's on the picture. That's a funny one. So yeah, but with actors, there is a cool platform called Backstage. We use this one. It's very cool because you just leave information. Hey, we are looking for this kind of person, this age, this type of looking, and people just apply. We received, I think, 600 or 700 applications, and after that, you just need to decide who is the best person for it.
Yeah. So how do you decide when you get that many applications for an actor?
First of all, like from 700, we found like 50 the best options, and we asked them to film a video with them with a short line from the movie. And after that, we decided who we like the most, and we hired them.
Nice. So it's kind of like a. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. The main choice was, besides acting, is the way how they look. We wanted actors to be very, very recognizable. That's what I hear from a lot of people about our actors. When you see them, it's very, very easy to remember them. They don't look like each other. When you watch the movie, you can see it's different characters. They look very different, and they're very, very recognizable. And I believe all of them can become famous actor in the future.
Yeah, I would definitely say from the memory card trailer that they look very distinctive.
Yeah.
Like it's not like they're all wearing like black t-shirts and have black hair, and you have to like double take to see which one it is. They all look very different.
Yeah. Thanks.
So if somebody, I'm sure this happens often, but if somebody approached you and they were like, Stan, I wanna get into making films. I also have a question. I also wanted to, before I forget, I wanted to bring up the thing where you said you used to film weddings, because every videographer or filmmaker I talk to seems at some point in their career to have been doing weddings. Is that a necessary requirement to making feature films?
So the reason why I was doing weddings, because I was from a small town in Ukraine, and I always wanted to make videos, any type of videos, and making money with it, make a living. And the only way there it was by filming weddings, because there was no other way you can make movies in a small town and make money of it, or even commercial, because there were not that many businesses over there that required video production services. So that's the reason why I made weddings. Wedding videography and filmmaking are very opposite things. They're very much different, and there is no reason to film weddings before you want to make a real movie. It's a different thing. Everything is different. Even working with camera, with a crew, with a team, everything is very much different. Even editing. When I remember when I was first time editing dialogue from a movie, it was very much different than wedding.
Yeah. So it's not
very similar tools that you need to
Yeah.
use, but you need to get a different result.
Yeah, it's like a different skill set. It seems like it's something that people kind of fall into to pay their bills, or while they're pursuing their different interests in like the film industry.
Yeah.
So it's a place where a lot of people seem to get their feet wet.
Yeah, it's like with a car. Imagine like camera is a car. You can be Uber driver, or you can be car racer, professional car racer. It's a totally different thing. You still drive a car, but it's opposite. So that's the same with filmmaking. There are some people that are wedding videographers and they call them filmmakers. I don't agree with that statement. Even I have a huge experience with wedding videography. Even weddings are very cinematic now. They look like movies. Some of them. It's a different thing. It's still an event. It's a documentary. Yeah, I think I can agree, because you can call a documentary film a person who makes documentaries filmmaker. So why can you call a wedding videographer filmmaker because he's making documentary about a specific day? Basically, you can call them filmmaker. Yeah.
Yeah. So you just changed your mind.
I changed my mind while I was talking.
Yeah. Every wedding videographer that listened to this or watched it was gonna be like gunning for you. Like, no, man, I make films. What are you talking
No, if you want to make film, make a real one. It's very challenging. It's a very different experience. No one's gonna pay you money for that, at least for a first period. It's like, yeah.
So going back to my previous question, which was, I'm sure a lot of people ask you for that they want to make films, they want to get into filmmaking, they come to you for advice. If they say like, Stan, I want to make a movie, what advice do you tell them? What advice do you give them if they want to get into filmmaking?
Just start right away. You don't need anything. You just need to start doing stuff. I would say at first, like, you can try to get on a film set as a production assistant, as an extra, as anyone, to see how it looks, how it works. It's not that fun at all. I remember first visiting film set, everyone was very serious because they were doing their job. It's like when you go to any restaurant kitchen. Do you think people have their fun? No, they yell at each other because they're doing some serious stuff. They have things to do. It's something like that is on a film set. Like, there are a lot of money invested, a lot of people hired, and people are very serious about what they're doing. So that's the first thing I would say. Let's go there, and so you can understand if that's you really want to do. Because it's cool to make a movie. It's cool to tell people that you made this movie, to watch it after. But the movie making process, it's very complicated. Sometimes it's fun, sometimes it's not. But like, I remember when we finished filming memory card, I saw Tara's face. He was very relieved and he was smiling because he realized we made it. I wasn't happy. I wasn't smiling at all because I knew, no, we haven't made it. We just finished that third day. We have some extra stuff to do. We still need to do editing, promotion, submitting, and many other things. So no, it was only beginning. Yeah. So sorry, I forgot. I was answering your question. Yeah, start with something. And it's not needed like you need to even to buy a camera or make your own movie. Just visit other film sets before that.
How does somebody get to find or get to have those opportunities? Because I think somebody will probably, I mean, even I'm curious because it's like you can, if you don't have those, like the connections or the experience, how do you get a production assistant or a role like that?
It's much easier than you think because, like, for example, one of my friends, he recently moved. He was also Ukrainian. He spent a year in Sacramento and now he moved to Pennsylvania. And I gave him a few advices how to find film projects, and he has 4 or 5 meetings now, and he has already 9 dates booked after I gave him only a few advices.
Wow.
Yeah, it sounds like I'm selling or something right now.
Do you have an online course or something you're
No,
trying to?
I actually had an online course, but it wasn't about selling. It was about editing. But you need to go to all the Facebook pages in your area. Like imagine for if you're in New York, there are a bunch of Facebook pages like New York filmmakers, New York film crew, New York film locations. There are also websites like Upwork, Shoot With Me, a lot of different stuff. There are also Slack and Discord chats. You need to have notifications from all of those. Very often, people need someone to help them in the last moment. Sometimes you get a really good opportunity because there is a film set somewhere and they realize the person got COVID or something happened. He's not available. He can come there and you're available. You just got this notification. Just send them a message really quick. You need to be the first person to do that and they will hire you. And be flexible to work for free or to work for experience for the first time.
Yeah.
I would say that's also important. And you just feel free to leave any messages on posts on Facebook. Hey, I'm here. I just moved. I want to get involved, and I would like to go as an assistant, and I'm ready to do this, this, and this. You just need to offer to the other person what you can. You need to tell what you can offer besides being as an assistant, because most of the people, a lot of people send me a message, hey, can I go an assistant with you on a set? And 99% of those people, they just want to go there and watch how I'm working, how I'm talking to the client, to understand, to get this experience for free. Actually, I'm not the person who is going to need to pay them money for that. They need to pay me for the experience, because their goal is not to come there and just to help me. Their goal is just to steal my ideas. Mm-hmm. So for those people, I think when you're offering something like that to someone, just feel free to offer something besides your help. Or like explain you're not there to steal any ideas or something like that. You really want to learn, and you're a very hardworking person.
Yeah. So I'll give you an example just from my own experience. So like I'm in travel videography, like blogging, all that stuff now, but I want to get more into filmmaking. So let's say like I'm in Toronto, which has a really good film scene overall. Mm-hmm. I own another company that does digital marketing, specializing in like paid ads and a few other things. So if I approached someone that was working, and I was like, hey, I have this experience, I'd love to just like help you out. Here's some other things I can offer. I know how to promote things, like to get people to sign up or pay, things like that online. I'd be a bit more specific, but is that kind of what you're suggesting?
Yeah. I think that's a really good idea to do that.
Easy enough.
You just need to
interview's over. No, I'm just kidding.
You just need to keep doing that, because you need to have consistency. I think that's the word I was looking for. Mm-hmm. Consistent. You need to be consistent with that. Don't after 30 people don't respond to you or something like that, don't keep doing that. Mm-hmm. Sooner or later someone will respond and you'll go to the set. And don't be shy to send second message or second email to a person, because there are many people that send me emails, and very often I reply to the third or second or third, sometimes it's a first email, because I thought it was a spam, and after a third email I realized it wasn't. That was the real person who wanted to work with me.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. That's I found the same thing with just like booking people on podcasts as well. Like the initial email, most people don't respond. Like probably 90% of people don't respond. Almost all the bookings come from like the second or third email. So I think that's a really good point, where like if you just give up if you send one message and you don't get a response, it's like don't be an asshole and be like, yo, hey, just don't message somebody every day, but it's like, just follow up, be normal about it. Yeah, don't give up. Yeah,
that was my problem before with previous project. I gave up really fast. when I was making. I would say I made a few very decent projects, and they didn't get recognized because I gave up. I thought, hey, I sent it here and there, and no one watched it. Maybe the project sucks. But after years, I realized it didn't suck. It got many views on YouTube or somewhere else, and actually it was very decent, and I could get much better result if I didn't give up.
Yeah.
So yeah, right now there is no way I can give up. Like even with memory card, when we started, I told guys I'm ready for everything. Something bad happening, we will keep trying. Yeah, I think when you have such an experience with so many, not many, but with some failures in your life, you after that you become more stronger person, and you don't look back after that.
What advice do you have
have
to
like
somebody?
this kind of immune to failures.
Yeah. So what advice would you give somebody who is like, Stan, I've messaged like a couple hundred people. I'm not having the success that I want, or I'm not getting the opportunities I want. I'm frustrated. What do you tell them?
It depends on what we're talking about. You're asking me about projects they're sending, or they can find job.
I would say projects.
It's either project is bad, and you need to understand that, and need to start working on new ones. There is no reason to keep pushing projects that doesn't work. We say in my language, no reason to keep pushing. Okay, I'm not gonna say it. It sounds really bad in English. You need to start working on a new project, probably. But there also can be reasons that your email was bad. If you send a same email to 100 people and no one responded, it means that your email was maybe too long, or it was weird. There was a reason why people didn't respond, because in 100 emails, at least one person would respond. If no one responded, that you need to change your email. You need to understand what was wrong. I would suggest to people always keep your emails as short as possible and provide only information that is important there to people, to the person to understand. Because we had experience sending very long emails with all the information, and no one was getting back to us because it was too long for a person to read it and to click all the links.
Yeah. Now you're making me think of some emails I've been sending out recently where I'm like, probably could have cut that down to like a couple sentences. I think that's very underrated advice though, because if I'm doing stuff and I'm busy, like I have a lot going on, and if I get an email that's 5 paragraphs long, I'm just like, I don't care who it's from necessarily, but I'm probably not going to read it. I'm probably just skipping, even if it's a fantastic opportunity. It's to read that much is just not probably not going to happen.
I have a story, by the way. That was a fantastic opportunity. Someone sent me a very long email that I need to film one of the Jonas Brothers, and it was a very long email. It was so long, so I thought it was a scam because it was from a random person. And then there was a follow-up from them, and I sent them I responded to them, and then I filmed one of them. I got this project, and I filmed. I just don't remember name of the specific Jonas brother. Let me. Kevin Jonas. I filmed Kevin Jonas. Yeah, it was a project for Turo. If you know Turo app for car rental. Yeah.
Yes.
That was really fun to do. It was really quick, and yeah, it just fell on my head from nowhere. I didn't expect that some kind of project someone can email you, and the email was super long with many details, and I thought it was a scam. You know, when people offer you opportunities and usually it's a scam. This one wasn't.
Yeah, they're almost like selling you on why you should do it versus just like asking you if you're interested. Yeah. I'm trying to think of where I actually saw where you posted memory card. I'm in a few of the groups, but I'm not sure which one. Are you in Black with No Cream by Ben Haggerty?
What is the name of that group?
It's called Black with No Cream. It's about like getting your coffee black with no cream.
I never heard about this one, by the way.
Yeah, it's run by a guy named Ben Haggerty. He was just on the podcast. He's been on the podcast like 3 or 4 times, but he filmed Beyonce's Homecoming, and he's done a bunch for like her and Jay-Z and a bunch of people. I don't know. He's done tons and tons of stuff. He has a pretty popular podcast called Black with No Cream.
Yeah, I
that
just
I
found it. I never heard about that.
yeah.
It's those kind of groups, pages on Facebooks are very difficult to find because when I'm joining groups, I'm trying to find someone. I usually Google. I will usually search Chicago
Mhm.
filmmakers, Philadelphia filmmakers, Los Angeles. I usually use the word filmmakers, filmmaking, videography, video, but I would never search
Black
like
with no
black
cream.
with no cream.
Yeah, most people don't wouldn't probably, but yeah, he's solid though. He's a fantastic. I'll send you the link. Send you
Yeah.
his
Yes,
Instagram
please.
later. But he's awesome. I'm sure that I can ask him if he's looking for guests for this upcoming season and see if there's an opportunity to jump
Oh
on
yeah,
and
that would be
talk about
amazing.
memory card.
Because there is
Yeah,
also a cool group in Philly. It's called Rough Cuts.
rough
It's also
cuts.
it's also difficult to find, like because you don't search Rough Cuts, but it's very cool community. There are a lot of geeks. You can find a lot of works in Philadelphia area there. They have meetings once a month, so that 60, 70 people visit every time, and you can show your project over there, and they will watch it and discuss it, which is free. You can come there and just show your project. For
Oh, that's
example,
awesome.
if you submit to any film festival, it will cost you 30, 40, 50, sometimes $100. They can tell you no. If they tell you yes, they can screen your project, of course, but there is a huge
Hmm.
chance there will be 5 people watching your project. I saw it on even on a big festival that there are just 10 people watching projects that spend a lot of money and effort to get there, and there was no point. With rough cuts, you can just come there and there will be 60, 70 people watching it, discussing it, telling you advices, and it will be for free.
Yeah,
I
that's
was really surprised. There are sometimes like opportunities like this one, you just don't know about them, how you can find anything like that, only when people tell you.
yeah, that's a great idea for anybody to do. Even if like whether you're running a YouTube channel, no matter what you're making, if you go like getting that much advice on the spot is like priceless. Like to have so many people break it down because usually the only way you're going to
Yeah.
find out if it's good is when you put it out if people like it or not. So you got to
Yeah.
I feel like that's a great opportunity. Like taking it there before the final edit too and having them give you feedback is probably a huge help.
Can I ask you what is your goal with your YouTube channel? Are you making it for fun, or you have
Yeah, so
goal?
I started it for fun and I won like I won a couple like creator video competitions with some things I made. I've been experimenting with like different styles and I guess my goal is I've always wanted to be a writer or filmmaker. And so I've been writing. I did a Kickstarter for a fiction book that I'm finishing up. And I would love to be able to like write my own films. And I don't think I'm actually that, I mean, I get paid to go do some travel videography and travel filmmaking, but compared to other people who are actually great videographers, I don't think I'm that, I'm not like special at it, but I just want to get better so that way when the time comes for me when I have a film idea I want to do that I want to write, I actually want to understand every piece of it so that way I can I can be like, oh no, go do this angle, actually use this type of lens. I think like some type of close up there, use this type of filter, let's adjust the lighting, those types of things. I want to understand that so when I go to make a film. So the YouTube channel is kind of my way of it's like a it's like my school, I guess. So
And
keep
it's
making
also cool
stuff.
because you're building an audience. You have subscribers. It's
Yeah.
very cool. You can share it with someone already.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah. So
important
I
for Kickstarter campaign. Is it already on?
sorry.
Your Kickstarter campaign, is it already online, or are you planning to start it?
It's already done.
Oh,
It
it's
was
done.
done.
Sorry, I missed it.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It was in the fall. It was in the fall actually of 23. So it was just to basically pre-sell the book, and I I'm actually in like peer review stage right now, where going through and sending it to people, having them rip my heart out, tell me my baby is ugly, and then rewriting some.
That's difficult part. That's very difficult part when you're sending it to people to watch it and tell you their feedback.
Yeah, so I'm pretty excited because it's getting better. I feel like the story itself is really good, but I've had to learn like the dialogue piece and then actually describing scenes. I feel like that's going to help. Like if you can write something so people picture the scene in almost the way you're imagining it, I, that's a skill I don't think I had when I started writing the book. And then through the multiple variations, like just rewriting and rewriting and rewriting and getting feedback, I feel like I've gotten a lot better. So I guess my whole goal with all of this is just to like earn the right to be a good storyteller.
How long is it?
The book,
How many pages? Yeah. It's like,
I think when it's done, it'll be 150. It's like 180 right now. So I'm imagining I'm gonna end up cutting like 30 pages worth of stuff. So
sorry, I didn't hear you. There was some problem with connection.
yeah, so right now it's 180. I think it'll be 150 when I'm done cutting after all the feedback.
Right, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, would love to read it if that would be possible.
Yeah, let me finish this next round of edits, and then I would love to send it over and get some
What
feedback.
type of story is that?
So it's like a coming of age story. Yeah, it's a boy who grows up in a village and dreams of climbing mountains. So it's a story of him going on that path.
Is it a story about? Do you relate to this character?
A little in some
Okay.
elements.
Yeah, I do relate
Yeah.
to some characters from my projects.
Yeah, I feel like in some ways you have to, or you have to at least be able to, maybe that person in real life and you're able to
Yeah,
like
yeah, it's
write
much
about
easier
them.
to make a character when it's based on a real person. So it's easier to understand what he's gonna do in different situations.
Yeah, definitely. It's fun when you write the character and they kind of almost develop a mind of their own. That kind of happened when I was writing this book, where it was, I have this person, I kind of wrote them in a specific way, and I thought they were going to do one thing, and then when I got to that scene, I was like, that makes no sense if they go do that because of all these other things that have happened. Like, they just wouldn't. So I had to think about the direction they would actually take versus the one that I thought they would.
Yeah, I believe it's very complicated part. When you change something, you need to go back and change something before because it would make no sense.
Yeah.
Why is it doing that?
Yes. It's just like an iterative process that it's almost like sculpting, I would say.
I believe it's much difficult with the book than with the movie. Might be. Of course, with the book you can change everything in every moment. With the movie you can do that, but
yeah,
reading everything again to understand if it makes sense, it will require much more time than just rewatching 10-15 minutes of video.
Yeah, I think they both have like a learning curve, whereas writing is, the first time you write the book, it's probably going to take you more than your next 3 books combined. And with a movie, you don't really have as many takes. You can't go back and when you're in the editing process, you can't fly everyone out again and go redo something. You just kind of have to take what you got.
If you're not working on a 3D project, 3D animation,
True.
It will be easier to change something, but it can also be a problem since there can be motion capture.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't be possible to change anything, and if you have voice acting, but you can change background, you can change their clothing, all the stuff. So yeah, with 3D animation has much more options. There was a reason why Robert Zemeckis, who made Back to the Future, he started making animated projects. He made Beowulf, Night Before Christmas, Polar Express.
Yeah, he did that because it was easier to go back and change things than having to go reshoot.
Yeah, I heard that he got exhausted by working on real movies on the real set. It takes too much time. I think with animation, you just tell people what they need to change. Much easier.
Yeah, that seems like it. So I know.
What are your plans with your book?
My plans with my book are.
Yeah, did you see American Fiction? That's the first movie I remember about writing.
Is that the one with the black guy that writes the book?
With Jeffrey Wright. That's where I think you'll enjoy it. It's very fun. It's about a guy who's writing a book.
Yeah, I've seen the trailer and I've wanted to sit down and watch it a few times, but I just haven't done it. Maybe I'll check it out tonight or something.
It was very fun. I didn't expect it to be fun because it won an Oscar, a lot of awards, and I thought it was gonna be more dramatic, more sad. It had some sad parts, but most of it is very fun. I was laughing a lot.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out. So my plan for my book, I have two paths I'll explore. One is I'll take it to a publisher after, and I have some connections with some agents, so I'll see where that goes. The other option is just so I know how to run ads, I know how to do marketing and all that stuff, and I think I can probably just put it up on, I have a podcast site, I have the YouTube channel, travel site, so I can put it up there and just try to sell it that way. And there's been a bunch of independent book. I'm in bookstores all the time, so I end up talking to them about having, doing my Kickstarter and everything, and the book I'm working on, and all of them are just like, yeah, we'll buy 10 copies from you, whatever. So I'm just thinking, if going the publishing route doesn't work, then just basically like smile and dial, email, just hustle, and just see if I can move it through a lot of these independent bookstores. But I think in order for me to do that, I have to know it's good. Like I have to be able to like look someone in the face and believe myself that it's actually good. And I think there's probably another couple of rounds of edits in order to get to that point.
Yeah, I think that's a very good idea that you're doing to be more confident.
Yeah. I feel like you always know, if you have taste, you always know if your thing is good or not. And I don't think anybody wants to sell something that's bad.
It's just very difficult to judge your own project after you spend days or months working on it. You can understand if it's good or it's bad.
That's probably fair. Yeah. Do you think that most of the projects, like when you see your like memory card or any of the films you've worked on at the end, are you able to look at them and have some like an objective view?
It's very difficult. I can say it's much easier to give some feedback about your own project, I think, a year or 2 years after, to rewatch it again, because you already forget many things and you watch it as an audience. It happened to me a few times when I was watching my old project, and I thought that actually looks good, and that's not like there are parts that you don't like, there are parts that you actually like, and it happened to me many times. I realizing, hey, that project actually was very good, and I should spend more time promoting it. That's what actually I'm planning to do. I have two of my previous projects that I didn't promote it enough. I wanted to invest some money over there I want more people to see those projects and to know about them.
Yeah.
It's about Tale of the American Dream, and the other project is called Mariupol Defender. It's on YouTube. I think more people should watch it.
Yeah, if you send me the link, I'll throw it in the show notes for sure and see if we can help get you a few more views.
Awesome. Thanks.
Yeah. You're making me think of, like, I have a few videos on YouTube where when I put them out, they didn't really get a ton of views. And I remember watching them and like being able to point out like, these are all the things that were wrong, whatever. But then over time, they've actually become like some of my biggest videos. And I go back and I watch them after a year, 2 years has passed. And I'm like, actually, it's pretty good. That's not bad. So I do think, yeah, you're probably right that it does take some time, because you're always going to be a bit more blind. Like you're going to have your blinders on in the short term versus long term.
Yeah. That's the reason why we also send memory card to many people to watch, to get some feedback. It's also difficult to work with feedback because many people, so far with memory card, we received feedback like from 10 people, and all of them had very, very different feedback. So like at this point, you don't understand, should I listen to him or to her or to him, like, or should I don't listen to anyone? Because like, imagine if Christopher Nolan sent me a first draft of Oppenheimer, I would change many things. But would it be the same movie? Does he need my feedback about his project or not?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the part where I don't have much experience, is working with feedback of people who with test audience. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to understand what is the best way to what comments to listen to and which to ignore.
Yeah. So on the small scale that I have, I think that a lot of people are wrong about their feedback. But if there's a commonality where everyone's kind of like pointing out this like one area, then it's like, then I know that I need to fix it. If it's if it's like one person out of 50 points something out and I don't agree with it, I'm going to leave it alone. But if 40 out of 50 people all say like I didn't really get that, it makes it easy to like recognize the change, at least for me. But it depends on how big your audience is.
Yeah. If a few people point you at the same thing, I think you should definitely change it. But if people are saying every person says different things, like for example, one of the guys told us that he didn't understand that part, and 9 other people understood it.
Mm-hmm.
I think at this point we should just keep it as it is, because it might be just his own. You can make a movie perfect for everyone.
Right. Yeah, no one's got a 10 out of 10 on IMDb on any film. So
I think the most the highest rated movie on IMDb is Shawshank Redemption.
yeah.
That's
And
the
not
one.
everyone even likes that movie. So
Yeah. I know there are people who hate it because it's the highest rated. I think it's a good movie. I like it. I watched it at least 4 times.
Wow. Do you have a movie that you think has been like the most impactful for you in your filmmaking career?
That's a good question. I don't think there is one specific. Recently, I've been rewatching many times Matrix, original Matrix, 1999. I think that movie has perfect pacing, perfect everything, cast, dialogues, and music with editing. They work perfectly together, and that's the movie that inspires me and Terrace on working on a new project. We want to make something like that, something that will look like this.
Mm-hmm.
By perfect, I mean like it feels, when you watch the movie, it feels like everyone prepared a lot, and every cut, everything makes sense in this project. Like they did a huge amount of work. So yeah, I think that's one of the projects that had an impact on me. But I don't think there is like one specific I can point to.
Yeah, I think that's I feel like everybody that watched The Matrix for the first time in theaters, like that was like a very, I don't know, I very vividly remember watching that film and just being like, holy shit, this is so good. And pretty sure I watched it a few times in theaters because it was just like a one of a kind experience.
Yeah, I recently decided to rewatch also New Matrix. Right after the first one, I wanted to compare them, and for some reason it's much worse from every point, and I don't understand why. Even if you don't get attention from don't pay attention to plot, something is odd with lighting and with camera movement. It's worse, and I can understand why 25 years later the project looked worse.
Yeah, maybe it's one of those things where they got their success, they made it, and they didn't put as much, I don't know, I don't want to call it like a money grab, but they didn't put as much like care and effort into this one.
Something changed. I don't understand what. It looks more like a streaming movie. It looks like it was made for streaming. I mean, about the quality in general, but it had a pretty good budget, so I don't know. There are some cool parts also, but in general,
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy it. I hope this, what I said, wouldn't impact my filmmaking career, because there is always a chance I will work with someone who's working on this movie.
Well, I don't think he said anything too bad, so it was just more like it didn't work.
Yeah, I didn't like. I like the original trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
they were epic at that point in time. So I know we're kind of running out of time here. So I just had 2 final questions, then we can wrap up. The first one is, if you just had any advice for someone who's like, they've decided like that they're going to be moving into filmmaking, they're ready to kick off their first project, what's some advice you'd give them?
Sorry, I missed first part of the question because there was some connection problem.
Yeah, I don't know why there's a connection problem. I noticed that it's froze a few times, but it's strange. So the question is, if someone's getting ready to, they've decided they've got their script, they've committed to making their first film, they're ready to get started, they've got their crew and everything. What advice do you have for them?
Make a movie. I don't know if they have everything ready. I don't think there is any advice I can give at this point. Just prepare and just try to do not overwork. I forgot that word, how to say in English, when you work a lot and what happens to you after.
You burn out.
Yeah, you burn out. Don't burn out. That's the main advice I would say. Burning out is the worst part that can happen to you during filmmaking, because you can spend a lot of time on a first part of the movie and then you burn out and you don't have enough energy to keep going. I would say it's better to save your energy, eat well, sleep well, try to stay in good mood. You will still need energy for to keep going.
Yeah. All right. So if anybody wants to check out Memory Card, or they want to see what other upcoming projects that you have, how would they find out and support any of your work?
I mean, they can go to Rebel Monkey Production website. We are working on a new website for a company called Cinema Division. It's a separate company that will be focused only on movie projects, because Rebel Monkey is working on commercial stuff, a lot of different things. We also do visual effects and 3D animation, 2D animation. So we wanted to have a separate website. So Cinema Division will be soon. It's the best way. Just subscribe to my Instagram. I post everything over there. That's the easiest way, I would say.
Yeah, and is it Mr. PRID?
Yeah, that's me. That's my old nickname since I was 12. I'm keeping it. It's available on every website I go usually. So
that's awesome. It's easy to remember. Cool, man. Well, I appreciate you stopping by today and making the time for the interview. And I'm looking forward to seeing Memory Card. Yeah, if I can see an early release, that would be epic. I'm very excited. I grew up playing PS1, so for me, I'm like,
okay, that's cool. That's important.
Bringing back the glory days.
Yeah, thank you, Trevor. I also appreciate everything. I appreciate all the questions. I enjoyed this interview a lot. This was really cool. I can't wait to share it on my social media, and I'll send you updated film earlier as soon as as we have updated draft.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the podcast. I really appreciate you taking the time to listen and learn, and hopefully you got a few nuggets of wisdom out of this too. One quick favor I have to ask is, if you are listening to this on Spotify, give us a quick 5-star review, or on Apple Podcasts, or wherever your favorite podcast listening platform is. If you could give a 5-star review, share this with your friends if you think they might find it to be interesting. Would greatly appreciate that. That's pretty much it for this episode. Thank you so much for taking the time to tune in, and I look forward to seeing you next time.